If you're trying to get better at weighted calisthenics with insane strength, then this video right here is for you. Matthew here, a heavyweight calisthenic athlete who's accomplished a 5 rep max weighted dip with 225 pounds, 1 rep max of weighted chin-ups with 180 pounds, and a full planche in under just a year. Now that's mad impressive, man. Welcome to the platform. Glad to have you. And let's talk. How does one even train to get a 5 plate weighted dip? Like 225 pounds, bro. That's like most people bench press. So like, explain to me that. Like, what'd you do? What was the method behind the madness?
So I think the first approach with me going about it was always having a top set. So I can always feel heavyweight. So like throughout the weeks go on, I always plan a top set for that week to progressively overload pretty much, and then plan like accordingly so that I could on my last week I could pretty much hit that number. So pretty much just planning for whatever goal weight you want to hit.
Right.
That's how I do it.
And I guess you mentioned you use a top set and back down method, right?
Yeah.
So can you just explain a little more in depth as far as what does your top and back down sets look like, with the rep range being in accordance as well?
So it could vary. You got a top set of 8, really. You got a top set of anything. So really, for me, I have a top set usually of 5, and then I have like either 2 or 3 back down sets depending on the week. But it's always like probably the back down sets are always probably like 10 to 25% of my top set that I did for that day.
So you're reducing like 20%, give or take,
Yeah.
from your top set.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. So I do the similar approach as well. I like to do a top set of 3 on my strength-based session, and then also a top set of 8 on my more hypertrophy-based session. And when it comes to my back downs, I do about a 20% reduction. Sometimes if I am feeling a little weaker, I do like a 25% reduction. I'm not sure where that percentage came from actually, but I feel like that's just something that I just feel like it was naturally feasible to do for my back down sets.
For sure.
Yeah. So would you care to explain like how often you train the weighted dips? Do you utilize any techniques or tempos?
I really like, for some reason, I don't know if I'm just lazy, but I really don't like doing tempos or like pause reps or whatever. I just like doing like a bench press, touch and go pretty much with dips. But like I feel like it does have a place, but I really don't do any type of tempo or pause work like that. So I really can't give you an answer.
So it's not that necessary in your case to kind of like break
In my case,
plateaus.
yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess like how long did it take you to get a 5 plate weighted dip?
So I think the first time I achieved a 5 plate weighted dip was like 2 years ago, and it took me about that was 2021. So it took me about like probably 2 years to achieve that. So it was a long process. And I feel like, huh?
For 1 rep or for like how many?
For 1 rep.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
So then 2 years later, you ended up doing 5 reps.
Yeah, 5 reps. And don't you think that's a long time though? Like to progress to 5 reps for 2 years?
I guess a better way to approach it is, what's your current 1 rep max now?
True. And I don't know that.
You don't
that
know?
would be an interesting question. Yeah, nah.
Okay.
My like current, like the last time I did it was 245. But
Okay.
yeah, like now since I hit 225 for 5, it should be way higher now.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I would assume like 265 for like a 1 rep max, give or
Sure.
take. So considering that in 2 years from 225, let's say a range of 250 to 265, I think that's pretty good, man. And that's touching like elite strength right there. Like not a lot of people can even, not a lot of people can even do 4 plates if you really think about it. So 5 plates and beyond
That
is
is
like,
true.
you know what I mean? So it's like you got to give yourself credit. And I think that's like one of the realizations whenever you're lifting naturally for a good amount of time, is that you're gonna find diminishing returns. So every single gains matter. You got to just take it, run off with it, and never kind of like undervalue those efforts, because a lot of people like to compare, and I don't like really comparing myself to other people unless I'm trying to find some kind of like base standard to shoot for and reach, not necessarily compare myself between, oh, why aren't I doing XYZ, or
I feel you. But that's probably my hard thing to get over, because I'm too like competitive, and I'm always comparing myself to somebody Like I don't know what it
Competitive,
is.
competitive is good though. Like I think it's good to have healthy competition. Like
Yeah,
honestly, I consider you like my competitive rival when it comes to like calisthenics and training in general, because we have like similar builds, similar
for sure.
strength, but you do have an edge when it comes to like the weighted dips, and of course like the planche. Those are like the two things I feel like you're definitely beating me on, and I'm also learning from you as well. So
Likewise.
yeah, quick context though. So me and Matthew here, we've known each other for about 2 years now. At the time when I was staying in Chicago, of 2021, 2022, and we used to get a couple sessions in together. And I
For
think like
sure.
you're the one that really put me on the specific technique for weighted dips. So shout out to you, man.
Thank you, bro. Thank you. I appreciate that.
100%. So my next question is, what is the hardest calisthenics skill that you train for?
Planche 100%. Yeah.
Can you like kind of
All right,
walk
that.
through like what made it hard? Like what was the challenging part of training for the planche?
I think because training for anybody is simple. Like, but I think it's like a mental aspect because of the journey is so long. Like, it's like a constant grind, a constant grind. You always got to nitpick certain things because it's so difficult. I don't know why it's so difficult. I think it's because like you need to strengthen certain muscle groups, certain joints. Tendons take longer to repair and stuff, and I think that's one of the biggest factors.
Man, no cap. Like I'm on my own personal planche journey right now, and I found out that like the wrists, the
Yeah,
elbows, and the shoulders, like you gotta warm them up properly. Otherwise, you're not gonna fire those necessary muscles and tendons correctly to even just to even do a simple progression of the planche itself. So like
for real.
sometimes if I'm not really like if my forearm's not warmed up, bro, like I cannot even do a tuck planche. You know,
Dang, what the heck?
like that would just be feeling mad heavy. But like I gotta really like nowadays I start to expedite that process by doing like dumbbell curls with, like my forearms. So it's like specifically it's like kind of just like working the anterior side and the posterior side of the forearms, and I kind of
Hmm.
just like do a curl. I don't. It's not really good. I wouldn't consider it like a muscle building exercise, but I know I'm just getting the blood pumping because I'm essentially holding the bars like this, and I'm like also extending like this. So I'm like, I figured to make sense to just use a dumbbell to kind of just like curl up and down.
Yeah,
That shit
that's
kind of
actually
look gay as
smart.
hell, but bro, I'm about to blur that part out. Anyways,
I
no
did the
homo.
same thing with
Pause.
bands.
Time out. Yeah, I mean like yeah, bands
Yeah.
bands work as well. You can be doing. Hey, I'm gonna start moving my hands, guys. Hey yo.
I
Next
don't
question.
sorry,
Next
G.
question.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah,
Pause.
planche is definitely hard, but on to the next topic, bro. Now, what would you say are the five best calisthenic exercise when it comes to for building muscle?
The five best.
It's top five.
So overhead press. My bad, not
What
overhead
kind?
press. Handstand push-ups.
Okay.
My
Okay.
bad. Handstand push-ups, pull-ups, push-ups, dips. What's that for? And I say inverted rows.
So you said
Sure.
handstand push-ups. Now, what kind of push-ups we talking about? On the wall, without the wall? What
On the wall
progression?
for sure,
On
especially if you're a beginner. Yeah,
okay.
you just started calisthenics. On
Yeah,
the
one hundred
wall for
percent.
sure.
Yeah, I would be lying if I said freestanding handstand push-ups is great for hypertrophy. That's cap.
Oh no.
That's cap.
Yeah, that's cap.
It's cool. Like I'm not gonna lie, it probably will build muscle. Like don't get me wrong, but there's too many factors that play into part with the freestanding handstand push-up that doesn't really make you fatigue from a muscularity standpoint, like a muscle
Yeah.
standpoint. Yeah, if anything, this is more technique and balance, and I think that's just it's cool to train. It's good for strength and like overall improvement of the skill. But
Hmm.
my favorite, I would say, my top five probably like so it's gonna be between the deficit pike push-ups or the deficit wall handstand push-ups. Now there's a big gap between the two, and I feel like the deficit wall handstand push-ups, most people won't even, to be honest, get to that point until like at least 2 3 years of training, bare
Yeah.
minimum type deal, because it's very hard. And I
It's
find the
really hard.
deficit pike push-ups itself like a challenge for me, like to get like 10 reps of like 3 to 4 sets. So that's why I put that there. Number two, easily, I'm between the pull-ups or the chin-ups. I will say honestly, I'm more of a chin-up type of person, just because
I mean,
they invoke more bicep recruitment, and actually made a video on that, on how the chin ups and pull ups are pretty much similar, but they do have differences as far as the muscle activation in the biceps. So for example, the chin ups works more the biceps, brachii, the brachioradialis, and also the what was it? Yeah, bicep brachii, and a little bit of bicep brachialis. And I think the pull ups just dominates more on the posterior side of the arm movement, and
Mm-hmm.
that's kind of like the only benefit from that. But as far as back engagement, pull-ups and chin-ups are pretty much similar. You can bias the last a little bit more if you have like a wider grip with the pull-ups, but same thing can be said with the chin-ups as well. So that being said, so yeah, deficit pike push-ups or deficit wall handstand push-ups, chin-ups, dips of course, inverted rows, and then number five. Number five. I'm not gonna cap. I wouldn't even say push-ups, bro.
What? Hey, push up solid though.
If we doing push-ups, it gotta be like ring push-ups.
Yeah, ring push ups for sure.
Yeah, it can't be no standard push-up like the ones y'all be seeing people do. Like, yeah, ring training is a whole different ballgame. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, like the stability aspect is crazy. You get, I find like when you use range, you get a better contraction in your chest because of the range of motion, and then you can just like bring the rings in too.
Yeah,
It's actually amazing.
yeah. I find that ring dips, ring push-ups, ring fly push-ups, every ring variation when it comes to like pushing, bro, it's working the chest differently, and it also works your core too, like at a whole different ball game as well. So I think it transfers over to like calisthenic skills, whether it's like the dragon flags, front lever, back lever, uh, those kind of core movements. But yeah, rings, bro. I honestly gotta do more videos on rings because I don't.
To be honest.
Yeah, I don't be talking about them, but also because I don't be training them right now. I did have a phase of like pandemic when I was like mainly doing ring training,
Mm-hmm.
but I need to like get back to doing ring training because there's a lot of benefits that I have neglected from it, especially like with the push-ups and dips specifically. I think those are like there's a lot of gains to be made from just that.
Yeah, and it's safer.
What was that?
I said and it's safer too. Like not safer, but it's
It's
better for your
free,
joints.
better
Yeah,
for the joints. Yeah, more. There's no like restrictive like closed chain or whatever. Um,
yeah.
Cool. So I'm gonna get this thing going to the next segment of the video. Got some questions. I pulled these out from my comments. So Smile9320 said, I don't see progress with my chin ups with my body weight. So how can you increase your chin up reps?
Uh, I say just increasing the frequency, like every day. If even if you could only do 10 pull-ups every day, just do those 10 pull-ups, and then over time, like your numbers will just increase. Like just do it every single day. Like in a sense, if you are having a hard time, you could. You're well. I'm not saying you're a beginner. I don't know. I assume you're a beginner if you have a hard time increase your pull-ups, but I say just increase the frequency, or like maybe you're hitting a plateau. You just need to add some weight to it. So yeah.
Yeah, that's actually a great way to go about it. Adding weights to the body weight chin ups to kind of progress the body weight chin ups itself. Now, if I was gonna do that in a more practical standpoint, I would probably do 3 to 4 training sessions at most.
Mm-hmm.
And the first session would be like a strength based session, and we can take his account, his example. You can do like a weighted chin up day where you're doing like 5 sets of like 3 to 5 reps with like just minimal load, nothing crazy, and get to the
Yeah.
point where you're really comfortable with that weight before you start progressing. And then you would probably do your other sessions more body weight focused. So the second session can be like something like of a hypertrophy based session. So it can be a 3 sets, as many reps as possible. You're kind of testing your chin up strength and endurance. And then the last 2 sessions will be just testing your technique and ability to actually perform a chin up. So I would probably do more sets, but very little reps. Like if you can do at most maybe like 6 or 8 chin ups, then I would do like half of that number. So you would do probably like 3 to 5 sets of like 3 to 4 reps, but you will slow down the repetitions. So increasing the tempo is going to help increase progressive overload, which is going to help strengthen those individual muscles. Also, better have a more, I would say, adaptive mental cue when it comes to like executing the chin ups itself, which will in turn help you just get more reps in general. I think that really helped me in general with like any kind of skill is to kind of just like jack up the sets but reduce the number of repetitions and really get that time and attention going just to kind of understand what the movement feels like. Hopefully that answers your question though. Next up, Timmy Turnery, I believe. He said, been training nonstop for months now, but been feeling like my body's getting weaker. I'm guessing I need a deload. So my question is, how should one approach a deload?
I say they should either do nothing or for like a week of doing nothing, like active recovery. Not doing nothing, but like active recovery. Or
Can you explain like what active recovery is for those who don't know?
literally go to a swim, go for a walk, go play basketball, stuff like that.
Staying active without doing much type.
Yeah, pretty much.
Walking is
Like,
fire. I agree.
yeah, yeah, walking is fire though. No cap.
No cap, man. Bro, I know in Chicago you be like, bro, when I was living out there, bro, the walks would be, let's say, extended walks for sure, like up to an hour to two. You know, just along the river walk, along the lake, man, good time.
And didn't you do your cut out here too?
Bro, yeah, and that's actually how it was so successful because I was just like, I would walk to the gym, walk to the grocery store, walk around the neighborhood, walk back to the apartment. You know, it's a whole bunch of walking. Goddamn, I was probably like clocking in like anywhere between 13 to 15K steps a day.
Oh God,
tight.
You were posted too. I was like, damn, this man really grinded.
Yeah, bro.
That's what's up though.
Yeah, that cut was tough, but I guess my input on taking a deload. I would recommend, you know, like anywhere between after your training period of like 6 to 10 weeks or so, having a deload where you kind of reduce up to 40% of your working load. Let's say you're doing like, I don't know, take the bench press, for example. You're doing 100 pounds, right? Let's keep the numbers simple. You're doing 100 pounds on a bench press. 40% of that is going to be 60 pounds. So then you would do only 60 pounds for that deload week. And I would recommend slowing down the tempo just to kind of keep the intensity high, but you're not working with a lot of loads, so you're getting more at a less weight. I find that really helps just not increase, but like more so maintain stimulus. So whenever you get off that deload and kind of regress or progress to that next block, that training period, you won't feel that awkward, weak feeling whenever you like kind of get back into the groove of things. So that's what I recommend. But sometimes I take a full rest week, and like sometimes here and there be doing like, you know, like bodyweight pull-ups for like max reps or like bodyweight push-ups or dips. Kind of like what you were saying, like active recovery, but to a higher degree, because like pull-ups and dips and push-ups are like super easy for me, so I can like knock them out without getting like fatigued per se. So yeah, hopefully that answered that question though. All right, we got another one. This name's hard. I'm not gonna lie. This whole sound Russian. All right. So he said, what's his name? Yaroslav Koval, 7222. Goddamn. He said he decided to give weighted calisthenics training a cycle. He decided to give weighted calisthenics training cycle a try after watching your videos. How to correctly choose the working weight for initial pull-ups and dips on a strength day, for example, 5 to 6 rep max, and volume day, for example, 8 to 10 rep max. How would you advise to warm up and how many sets to do etc? So I guess there's two questions in one. He said he started weighted calisthenics training because of my videos. Shout out to you. So how would you go about choosing the correct working weight for, like, say, a 5 rep max?
That's actually pretty hard, especially if you don't know. So what I did, because I didn't know either. So what I did was just went in the gym. I tested my 1 rep max, and then I literally just calculated that to like 75% of whatever that 1 rep max I hit on that day, and just did that for like 5 sets of 5 when I first started out. So that's what I would recommend, really.
So you actually tested out your 1 rep max, which was like, let's put that for percentages 100%, and then you took, what was it, About 30.
75%.
You took 75
What?
percent.
Yeah, to 75% of that,
So
and
you're
then
basically working with like 35% then from your one rep
yeah.
max. Okay. Okay. Yeah. And then that would be like your way of approaching choosing the 5 rep max.
Hmm.
Okay. Nice. That's actually very smart.
Thank you.
That's actually very smart. I have never heard of that actually, but I guess the way I would go about it isn't as effective as you. So I'll go ahead and give my input. But essentially, it takes time to figure out, let's say, like 5 rep max. Um, for example, you got a session coming up. You're trying to do weighted pull ups, 5 reps as your working set. I would probably take about 1 to 3 weeks to figure out what that working load would be for 5 reps. Just because I wouldn't know where I would be at. So, for example, if I know I can do like maybe 90 pounds for like 8 reps, then I was like, okay, maybe I can do like 110 pounds for 5 reps, and then I'll kind of just gauge it until I get it right. So I'll write every single session down until I'm like, all right, this is definitely 5 rep max with this amount of load, and then I kind of just like go from there. But I think that's more of a longer route, but it is kind of fun to kind of just like evaluate. So you might just put me on game too, bro. That's actually smart.
But now your way is safe though. That's like because you're a coach pretty much. So I think that's a smart and safer way to go about it because people like you can hop into it. Say they don't know what percentages, they don't know how to train by percentages or RPE or how they feel or how the weight moves. Like they could go to you and be like, hey, can you look at this footage and see how this weight moved? Do you think I should like uh, bring down the weight or put up the weight and stuff? Ask like questions. So I see like people should probably get a coach probably or like learn about specific things about training before they hop into it fully because I think you can get hurt that way without knowing
Yeah.
everything that you need to know.
No, 100%, bro.
Choking up.
Hey, get some water, my guy. But I think that's true though. The way I do approach it is like it's safer, and
Mm-hmm.
just because I personally don't like doing 1 rep maxes, so the way I like to approach it is kind of like going based off of intuition, just like knowledge of like what I can do with other rep ranges, with other loads. So I think the more experience you have, the more you have a better gauge of like what this person can do.
Yeah.
But if you never had any experience, then maybe give Matthew a shot or try a shot, or just kind of work your way into it. I think working your way into it is safer just because you get to actually work on the technique as well. Because there's a
Yeah.
good chance you try to do that 1 rep max and you like fail, and you can never get
To be
that. And then by
honest.
the time you like even get a real 1 rep max, it's not the actual 1 rep max because you're kind of already fatigued. So
Yeah.
yeah,
And that's a good point too, because it can hurt you mentally, and then you'll be
yeah.
like, "Dang, yeah,
Yeah, to answer the second part of the question, how would you advise to warm up? How many sets? So when it comes to a strength based session, like you're doing working reps of like 3 to 6 reps.
mm-hmm.
If I'm doing more on the 3 rep range, then I'm probably doing anywhere between 3 to 4 warm up sets. That's just because for me particularly, bro, like if and I'm sure you can relate to this.
Yeah, I'm already knowing."
I'm doing okay. My 3 rep max is like 195 or so, right? 195 to
Mm-hmm.
197. That's 4 plates and some change. So like
Yeah,
me doing body weight, I don't even consider that even a pump. I just do like,
nah,
cause I literally like with body weight, bro. I probably just do like I literally just do negatives, but slow negatives. Just to kind of
mm-hmm.
feel something. Where I get a real pump is really once I get to like 2 plates. So I get the first plate is literally just to kind of like feel things out. Get the pops, air bubbles out the way type shit. The
Mm-hmm.
second plate, once I put 90 pounds in, I'm like, all right, I'm feeling the pump in my chest, my triceps, I'm feeling the technique. Once I get to 3 plates, I'm like, all right, I'm good, but it's still like far from like, cause now I'm doing singles, cause like as I'm increasing the loads, I'm doing like reducing the repetition. So once I get to 3 plates, I'm like, all right, I'm doing singles or doubles at most. And then once I get to like, I think that's 3 sets right there. Sometimes I might need a fourth set, but typically 3 to 4 sets is like what I need to do in order to like be ready for my top set. People be commenting, bro, you're doing too many warm up sets. I'm like, if you think about it, bro, like if I just did 2 sets, right? What would I do? Like what? Body weight and then 90 pounds and straight 195 pounds. Like that's crazy. You know, like how would I go from body weight to 195 added to my body weight in just like 2 sets? I'm like, fam.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So
Like,
people, it's just different. It's just different for where you at. You know, if you're not working with a lot
yeah,
of loads, then you can get away with lower warm up sets. But I do recommend at least 2 to 3.
yeah,
But for me, it's
I
three to
agree.
four.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Like, that's crazy. Like, going to body weight to 90, then 190, that's wild.
Bro, like
But
I would mess something up, bro, for real.
yeah, no, but like you just said on a point, like I was literally watching somebody's story last night. His name's Sherkar, like a crazy way to dipper, and he was like, I just feel like he was just energized, whatever. He just said he got out the bed and just literally just started dumping. I mean, dipping 100 kg. Like some people don't take warm ups, but speaking on my behalf, I was talking to Dentakate. If I pronounced that right, I don't know. But he's a crazy plancher and like he powerlifts now and does weighted dips. But he was like, I was asking him about advice about how many warm ups should I take, and I was like, I literally did like you 3 to 4 or like sometimes even 6 warm ups, and then I do like each warm up takes like 3 to 5 reps, and I'm like, bro, that's a lot of energy that I'm expending. So I was like, I asked him for advice. He was like, you don't have to do that many warm ups in reps per set. You can literally just do like 1 rep each set, and then like go like about that way. But like you said, everybody's different. So I took his advice, and that's what I've been doing, and it's been working ever since. I feel way more energized for my top sets.
Exactly. I think it's key because I really stress the inverse relationship between load and reps. So as the
Yeah,
load's going up, the reps
go down.
gotta go down this way, something like that. You know what I mean? But
Yeah,
yeah, as the load goes up, the reps go down. So singles is really what I do once I hit that second to third warm up set with weights. So hopefully to answer your question, just to kind of tie in a little bit more on my hypertrophy day, because I am working with lower loads per se. I
mm-hmm.
only need just 2 warm up sets and I'm good. Just because
Same.
it's like I literally go straight to one plate, 90 pounds, and then top set, which is like
Yeah.
150 basically. So 150 by 8. Yeah.
This is for dips, right?
For dips, yeah.
Yeah. Dang. Oh, dang. 150 by 8. Low key. And that's why I want to ask you too, because I do like a little bit more extra volume, so I stay like even lower, like around like 90 or 100, 130 pounds probably for like a couple of sets. But how many, could you say you do 150 for 8? And how many training days do you have out the week? Like you have 2 or 3. That you dip. Do you dip
Just
twice
just
or
just twice a week.
just twice?
I think
All right.
at some point I'm gonna introduce 3, and that would be like
Mm-hmm.
more like of a light day. But
Yeah.
I think because I'm still like at that, I'm not fully weighted dipping and chin up specificity. It's like I'm still kind of doing that bodybuilder approach where I'm still trying to build. So making
Yeah.
sure that I'm getting like well rounded exercise variety. But yeah, man, we might see corporate trains go into like a full weighted
Yeah.
calisthenic specificity type train, like street lifting, literally. Weighted chin ups, weighted dips, weighted muscle ups. But right now, I think I'm still trying to build. But yeah, we'll see, man. We'll see. Cause I
That's
know
what's
I know
up.
you train probably like what 3 times a week.
Nah, just twice. I'm tweaking just 4 times,
Four
but
four
I
times.
train the muscle groups twice. Yeah.
Okay, got it. So you're doing the dips twice a week.
Yeah.
Okay,
And
got it.
weight pull up twice a week.
Yeah, I think that's
But
really
that'd be what's up, man. Like, when do you think you would start only doing dips and pull ups?
like just street lifting training
Yeah.
basically. I don't know, man. I think because like I will be doing it for no reason other than just the purpose of posting about it. Because I don't think I'm gonna compete. I'm not really like
God,
I'm not in a competition type of dude. I'm just doing this for YouTube, man, and for my personal
sure,
well
that's
being.
crazy.
But yeah. Plus, I know there's a lot of people who are strong, so I'm like, bro, I'm not even gonna put myself at that spotlight because it's just gonna be defeating per se. Plus, I'm like focusing on like my own coaching and then my own content. I think too much. It's gonna be too much like conflicting interests
Yeah,
because if I focus too much on training, I can't focus on creating per se.
that's facts.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. I feel like you could do it though, for sure, with your numbers right now.
Nah, probably maybe.
Yeah,
I don't know. I feel like I just need to hit because, like you said, it's too many. There's way too many strong people.
yeah,
But you might have a good point because there are some people that also make you content and coaching and excelling at street lifting at the same time.
yeah,
So yeah, for sure.
yeah. It's a very small percentage, but I don't think I'm at.
Yeah,
I don't think I'm at that stage yet where I can like kind of dive in every single field of what I want. But
yeah.
hey, what do I know?
True.
Cobra Trains, he's up next. Make sure y'all subscribe to him. He's number one out here.
He's the toughest fitness guy out here.